Holy crap. I can't believe I'm showing this to you. I can't believe this exists. I can't believe it's actually working. Do you guys remember a week ago I showed RTX Doom on PC using the PrBoom engine? Well, apparently someone's ported the PrBoom engine to GBA. Now, obviously, ray tracing and some of those other advanced modifications aren't going to work on the GBA, so what's the point? Well, we're running the full PC Doom WAD file here. We've got the full intact PC levels. See those two pillars on either side of that staircase? They're not normally there on the GBA port, because the GBA port, like many of the early console ports, is based on the Jaguar version. The Atari Jaguar version had simplified level details and level geometry. There was also some other sacrifices made on the GBA version. Enemies were basically deaf. They wouldn't hear your gunshots, so they wouldn't come towards the sound of your gunshots. And now they do. Not only can we run Doom with all 4 episodes, we can run Doom 2, and you can run some of the other Doom WAD files. Not all of them, of course. Again, some of the more modern Doom levels aren't going to run on here. But Doom Ultimate here, all 4 episodes, and Doom 2 do run. Now, performance. Let's get to level 2, and we'll talk about performance. Because yes, you can run more levels, but does that mean that you want to run more levels? Some of the bigger levels, some of the more advanced levels, even in episode 4, will probably run too slow to be playable. But episodes 1 through 3 here are running pretty good. I would say a little bit better than the official Doom GBA port. This is targeting 35 frames per second. And, you know, if you're in a small room with no enemies, I'm sure it will hit 35 frames per second. But don't expect to hit 35 frames per second most of the time, especially if you're in a large area, large outdoor areas or lots of enemies, it's going to drop. It can drop as low as 10 frames per second. So again, some of the bigger levels in episode 4 are apparently not very playable. But episodes 1 through 3 very much playable. I think worst case, this is running as good as the official GBA port of Doom, but with better level design, right? So like worst case, you're getting about the same frame rate, but with better level design. In best case, it might actually be running a little bit better at times. And again, enemies can now hear you and come towards the sound of gunshots. They're not just deaf. There may be some other tweaks, some other things that this has that the GBA port didn't. Not 100% sure on everything that's been done here, or everything even that the GBA version lacked. There's a graphical setting here, so we will check that out in a second. The music. Yeah, the music's different too. I mean, it's a completely different sound engine. Music's going to sound a little different than the official GBA port. All right, this looks like a good spot to check out the graphical settings. So if we go into options, we've got graphical detail low and high. And it's a little different than the graphical detail setting on the official GBA port of Doom. That one also kind of had a low and a high graphical setting, but it wasn't changing the resolution, it was changing the way the lighting worked and how different lighting values in different sectors would all just get the same lighting value. So you wouldn't get like darker looking hallways or darker looking sections. The game overall would look a little bit brighter, but it would run a little bit better when you did that on the GBA. Actually run quite a bit better. And here I think it's more of like a resolution change. Oh, we got a map too, by the way. And you can overlay the map on the game, but whoa, that goes slow. So that's kind of cool there that I showed you that. Anyways, so yeah, graphical detail high and then low. I can actually only see it making an effect on stuff in the background. So it looks like stuff that's further away gets rendered at a lower resolution. So kind of a good compromise. I think it looks better on low than the official GBA port on low. And again, it runs at least as good, if not a little bit better overall. Again, while having more level detail. So kind of a win-win. As far as the ROM, well, I can't supply the ROM directly because, well, it's the full version of Doom. But it's very easy to make your own. So I'll have a link to the patcher that you need, the patch files that you need, and you'll have to supply your own Doom or Doom 2 WAD files. The patcher is very easy to use. It's as easy as any other patch, kind of patcher, ROM patcher thing that I've ever used. You supply the patch file that you want to use. So if you're doing Doom 1 or Doom 2, I used the Ultimate Doom patch file here. And then you just supply the Doom WAD file. So again, I've got the Ultimate Doom patch. I got my doom.wad file, by the way, from my Steam version. So I just went into my Steam folder and got my my Doom WAD file right out of there. Oh, there's a guy right there. Damn. Yep, so I got my Doom WAD file from my Steam folder. And yeah, just pick the patch, pick the WAD file, and hit create. And it will create a random file. Whew. And that file, you will have to name a GBA into a .gba file. So I called mine something like Doom PrBoom.gba. How do I get out of here? And I cannot see the door I came from. There we go. I'm looking at my phone screen, by the way. I got the GBA like right in front of my phone. I can't actually see the GBA myself. I'm just looking at the screen on my phone. So I'm kind of playing on the viewfinder, if you will. There's probably like a little bit of extra latency doing that. So like if it looks like I'm struggling with the slow frame rate, keep that in mind. I mean, yeah, GBA Doom does not run at a solid, 35 frames per second, but it's playable. Probably more playable than the Super Nintendo version, and you got like LNR to strafe. I wanted to show that to you guys, and I got to show it to you, so that's great. And again, I'll have all the links in the description. You're going to have the patcher program you need, the patches that you need. You've just got to provide your own Doom WAD files. It's pretty specific on like I guess like the header or the CRC. It's got to be a pretty specific and good WAD file. So I tried initially using my WAD file from I have like a DOS box folder, and I had the old version of Doom in there, and that one didn't work, but maybe that's because it wasn't the ultimate Doom. Not sure. Again, if you've got Doom 1 and 2 on Steam, just go into that folder, get those WAD files, and make the patch. It'll make a new file, call it whatever you want, as long as it's .gba, and you should be able to run it. Again, it's a 15 megabyte file, so as long as your flash card can support it, which I think most should, that seems within reason of even what some retail games would be. But yeah, 15 megabyte file, I could run that on my Easy Flash 4 again. But yeah, you can even check it out in an emulator if you really wanted to. But of course, if you're on a PC with an emulator, there's way better ways to play Doom. But nonetheless, it's very cool that people have just done this at all. I mean, who would have thought this PrBoom Doom engine would get ported to the GBA? It's crazy, but there you go. See you guys later.